Hey guys, what's up? It's Brian, Max, and Tim Schafer from Double Fine. Today we're playing Full Throttle HD Remastered Remix. It's been 22 years since this game came out.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry to date you.
Yeah, you wish you could date me.
Welcome to Up at Noon. We wore our Tough Boy leather jackets today to really show
Let
off.
it squeak. Can you? They can see us.
Yeah, I think the cheap ones squeak.
This one's just really just beat to crap.
Yeah, this is good.
So Full Throttle came out, 22 years ago, almost to the day. That's it. That's very impressive. This comes out the 18th. It came out 4/20/95. Blaze it. This was what, the 11th LucasArts adventure game on the Scum engine, something like that.
Probably.
Something like that.
We've done the McAllen games and Day of the Tentacle, and this is the first one that I was a project leader on by myself.
And this was a weird one. This was kind of the first. I feel like this was the beginning of like you really kind of just doing some very Schafer-esque games. Like this was
it was very like we pushed it as far as like cinematics go, and like doing scenes like this that are very, like film-like intros,
right?
Film-like intro credits and stuff. And I don't know if that was a conscious decision. It just seemed like, given the inspirations for this game, like that's where it just had. That's why the way it had to be told. I was watching. Speaking of Tough Boy leather jackets.
Yeah.
I remember we watched the Wild Ones. Have you ever seen the?
Oh yeah.
Marlon Brando, and it starts off with like him looking down a highway and talking about, I remember the girl, sad chick like that. Marlon Brando talking. And that was a big influence on that. So just led to the scene being like this. Plus, we added some jumping and a naked statue of me.
beautiful.
Yeah, that was not my idea, by the way. That was not my idea. No. Yeah, really.
Oh,
it sounded like something you would demand.
Well, I thought you.
In my writer.
If I was you, I'd put a naked statue of myself in every game.
If it was my idea, it would be much better.
So this is set in the year 2040. Is that?
Did we say that?
I think it's. I was reading the Wikipedia like 10 minutes ago.
That's funny.
Yeah. But it said in the distant future. But it was the distant future of like 1995, and now we're considerably further into the future.
I've always thought of it as just another alternate fantasy.
Okay.
Right.
And one thing that's, people often think it's post-apocalyptic because it was inspired a lot by the Road Warrior, but there's never any real mention of apocalypse or anything like that. It's just like a cruel world.
People just see rocks and leather, and they're like, something bad must have happened.
He's wearing, if you look at him, he's wearing much more of a Marlon Brando type biker outfit because it's almost like tucked in. Like he's very put together. He's not scrapped together with pieces.
Right.
He's, and they have cars that are hoverless and stuff. And the rule was only like, whatever we thought was cool. That was sweet. Like hovering cars, yeah, let's do it. Look at this lit movie.
So tell us about the main character in this game.
Ben Throttle.
Ben.
His name was Throttle, but we never said that in the game because
Ben Throttle.
We thought we were gonna get sued by the biker mice from Mars.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we
Did
changed.
they have like a threatening legal team back in the day?
It wasn't it wasn't even the legal department that made me take it out. I just felt like, oh, that's too close. Like we were trying to be really original with our stuff, so like it's too close. And they also had a bad rat named Limburger in their game, in their show, like we have Limburger.
That's something I really didn't expect to hear today. That anything about the biker mice from Mars.
Yeah.
They were a pretty major threat back in the 90s, but they've since been kind of taken care of.
Unless you were the Turtles, then yeah, they were.
So now the truth can be told.
Yeah.
Now the truth can be told. Ben was like, obviously based on my life. Pretty much rotoscoped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mocap from me.
He's got that like 5 o'clock shadow thing going on.
Yeah.
Weird thing.
And he was really inspired by characters like Toshiro Mifune in Yojimbo.
Right.
Where he's obviously a tough guy, but he's not going around acting tough.
Yeah.
He's just looking at town. He just wants to be left alone, but just somehow gets himself in these Jimmy Jams.
He's more of a tough boy.
And he has to occasionally.
That was littering, though. That is illegal.
Yeah, it's organic though. Birds need those cigars. Birds use those cigars for their nests.
Only the cool birds, though. So you guys have you've been doing a lot of kind of remastering of old LucasArts stuff. We had Grim Fandango and Day of the Tentacle and now this, and it's like it's interesting because this is in the same kind of category as of Day of the Tentacle with like the pixel art. You've gone through and like redrawn everything.
You can show, I think, Greg can show the transition. That's what I used to look like.
That's really cool.
And you can do that on the fly.
You do it on the fly, yeah. You can see all the little subtle changes they made.
I appreciate you didn't just do like the pan and scan either. You actually like went through and added.
Yeah, we added a lot of. we'd like to make work for artists.
What percentage of the screen is that? Like, how much more game is there now? Like, if you're being literal about it.
Overdub this with someone who knows the facts on that one. But,
over like 25% more game.
Yeah,
Give or
that's
take.
a good box quote.
Yeah, there you go.
They took the
Look at
old guy out back and worked him
But
off
you can
over
tell
the
we
2x4.
kept everything the same as far as the voice acting, but we found the original tapes and we could re-edit them uncompressed.
Oh, wow.
Sound really nice. Remix everything so they sit better with the background music.
Was the original VO recorded to tape?
that?
Been a long to DAT. Wow.
That, yeah. No
How do
Pro
you
Tools.
how do you convert that nowadays? Is
You
it
find
like a weird
someone
shop?
with a deck, and we
Oh, that's crazy.
you know, some of these we had to find people like Jory Prum was a collector of like SCSI drives and
Yeah.
weird old drives in his closet that we had like, you know, it was probably like our last chance to get these things off these tapes because they crumbled into dust. So that's why doing these remasters now is, I feel like, really important because a lot of these hard drives are about to just fail. A lot of these people were, you know, some
about
of
to
the
fail.
people who worked on the games have passed away, voice actors like Rick Conrad and Hamilton Camp.
Man.
And so having those original tapes, we could never re-record those voice actors. So having those tapes was really important. So
Especially Mark Hamill, he has a really high voice now. That's why he couldn't talk in Force Awakens.
Can't tell you.
I said we're not
I can't tell.
The polecats are
He was already doing the Joker for the animated series back in
Oh, that's right.
'95.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's get that guy that does the Joker.
That's awesome.
That guy. Where have
guy,
you seen
what's
him?
Yeah. He was in Corvette Summer, and
there, Malcolm. If you don't mind, I'd like to
you
step
ever seen
outside
Corvette
with
Summer?
Mr.
Uh-uh.
Ripburger
that was the big.
chat.
That was his first
idea.
appearance again after Star Wars. So everyone was like, I love Star Wars. I'm gonna go see. And it was directed by Hal Barwood, who did Indiana Jones: Fate of Atlantis and a lot
Right.
of
Oh,
the
wow.
other
Huh.
adventure
That's
games.
bad
So
news
it's all
for all of us.
connected,
He's
orbiting
not just a
towards.
nice guy. He's
So
also
obviously,
a
it's cool to see you kind of revisiting your old LucasArts stomping grounds. Is that a pain in the ass to deal with them, or are they like cool with you? Or is it? I mean, are we going to see more old LucasArts stuff?
Well, they've been really great, and we have. The reason this got kicked off is that we had,
Dice, Ripburger.
you know, some advocates in the
Polecats are
because they're a
not
big
fun
company.
folk.
Disney's a big company, and
If you want to buy
you know,
muscle,
and
you
we
should
work with
go
Sony
find
on
the
these,
rock
and they're a big
weavers.
company. But we had there's people at those companies who were like, we want to do the right thing by gamers and by
Right.
fans, and so let's make this happen. And that's how anything gets done. Really, there's still personal,
That's it.
you know,
Good.
push them. So that's what made these happen. And whack.
Ooh,
Oh, you got an achievement for that. Good
Nice.
job for getting hit in the head. If only that was the way life worked.
that's great.
Take this coat and go get his motorcycle.
That's a tough boy though. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good scowl to this game. I feel like almost everyone is scowling except for this guy.
It's not the apocalypse, but it is really sunny.
It's
And you're not wearing a lot of sunglasses. You know?
That's true. Those are very hard to draw back then.
Hey, where's Ben going?
Is there anything going back and revisiting it that jumps out at you as being like, what was I thinking there? Or like, is it just kind of, wait, we're way off about the future, or like anything like that?
Well, I'm wondering why we tucked in all the leather jackets into their belts. I mean, maybe that's the way they did it in the 50s.
Or in,
Yeah,
in the
I
distant
just noticed
future?
that. It's interesting.
I like that.
Let's see if anything pops up. What was I thinking? I mean, there are definitely some puzzles that I was playing it again. I was like, what the hell was I thinking? I don't think I had to look up anything. Playing Grim, I had to look up a couple things, and that's a weird feeling.
To like look up a puzzle to your own game.
Yeah, because you're like, what jerk made this?
Well,
Oh,
I guess
it
it's
was
kind of
me.
like where you
Up and
forget
worse.
where you put your keys or something like that.
Yep. There's a new option screen just for the remastered version.
Oh, nice.
Or a skeleton's trying to eat it.
So you can see here, you can configure it to be the old art with the new controls, or the new art with the old controls, or actually, did we do that one? Anyway, you can combine it. You can like listen if you like the old audio. You can
Oh,
listen
nice.
to that. But it really does. But it's great to. I think it's really important as a player to like have that there, the original game, exactly as it was. You can play it. But after you do it for a few minutes, you're like, let me see that pretty art again. Yeah, that's your eyes can breathe.
Yep.
Wait, can eyes breathe? That sounds
That's
creepy,
a weird. That's
but anyway.
very odd. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
eye drops are for, to open up those eyelids.
But it's much nicer. And they the audio guys were talking. I didn't really know this, but back on the old like PC speakers from the '90s, you know, you didn't really have speakers often. You'd have like I guess by the time '95 came around, you'd have like some speakers, but they were not very good. And the only way they can make rock music sound good on it is to just crank it to 11, like literally let it max out, let it let it get crunchy and
Like
compressed.
the wall of sound.
Yeah,
thing.
because it's the only way to make it. And if you listen to it, you listen to it. Some of the music's actually quieter in the remaster, but it sounds much better.
So this concept art's awesome. Where did you?
Oh, wow.
Did you guys have all this stuff?
We
Old sketchbooks lying around?
we got to go back up to the ranch. No, there were a lot of heroic people over the years at Lucas who kept this stuff.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
it wasn't always officially kept. Sometimes it was like almost getting thrown away, and someone's like, "I think we should save this." And
Oh man.
and they regathered it all, and they have it in the flat files that we used to have in the hallways at LucasArts. They have them sitting in the barn, which is their archive room, which has right next to it like dailies from Empire Strikes Back or something
Sure.
there, and like, all humidity controlled. It's beautiful.
I love that.
Not that Utah salt mine that they kept the original trilogy in.
It's all really well preserved, and so we got to get in there and scan all of that concept art, so you can see that Peter Chen's backgrounds, how closely they match the final version, and some of the various. It's hilarious to look at all the takes that we did on Ben. That was a project where I learned a lot about what the artists go through with character design. It's really hard to pick your main character. It's kind of like picking a name for a baby. It's just
Right.
so important that you almost can't. Nothing you like enough, So you look at, and so what finally happened is that Larry had just drawn a kind of a crowd scene of a bunch of bikers, and I was like, who's that guy? I like that guy, and kind of picked him out.
I love that. Pick them out of a lineup.
Yeah, and that took some of the pressure off of like, do you like this? Do you like this guy? Is
fixed
he
your
cool
door.
enough? Because he was
It was
never
sticky.
quite right. And then we just loved Ben as he was.
I don't
What
want
is
no
in his
trouble.
utility bag? Now that I'm
Just
thinking
leave me
about
out
it.
of this
What is he
mess.
keeping in that utility? Looks like a Motorola, like.
No, it's the inventory.
His little
You
pouch.
took it off. You took it off the
Makes
bottom
sense.
third of the
Yeah.
screen. It's just all in there.
I'm glad we didn't make that the inventory UI.
Looks
Though.
like you're
Yeah.
a
The
good
skull
tourist.
instead of the little
Yeah, you're getting
pouch,
tough
the little
off of
man
those
pouch.
We were like collectively just super into pouches in the 90s.
Where'd
Like just
everybody
people were
head off
really
to?
like just the Rob Liefeld thing, the pouches
Yeah,
everywhere.
kids who were born millennials. This, just so you know, we were all really into pouches.
Yeah, they have no idea what it's like nowadays.
like-
Most people don't even have one pouch.
It was
It's-
pouches and shoulder pads. That was the big thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
because Australia was also big, and the marsupial thing.
Australia was big.
Hmm.
I want to know who knocked
It was
me
odd.
out.
It was an odd time for us.
Crocodile Dundee and
Yahoo
pouches.
Serious.
God,
The three
it's the
things I
first
can
time
name.
I've heard that name in a long time.
I'm looking
All right.
for my keys.
I think that's a badger on the piano.
Talking about.
Oh yeah.
You can kick it. You can kick the piano. Okay,
Kick the piano.
Kick the guy.
Do it.
I just like kicking the piano because they put on special audio.
So did you have to go and actually remaster the sound of a piano getting its ass kicked?
That's the original sound effect, but I think they.
Cleaned it up a little.
The
Yeah,
monitor
it sounds
doesn't
great.
have any controls.
Yep, and we've got Keith Karloff, the lead of
You
the
know what
Gone
might look
Jackals
better
band
on
that we
your
use for
nose?
this. Got his old reel-to-reel tapes. Wow. Which the original music
bar.
to make it remix in stereo. I don't think it had it in stereo.
That's awesome. I mean, this is so cool to see because like video games don't really get this treatment enough. You know, like this archival. Either you have like a PC build that you've got to like, add some third-party drivers or something to get it running or emulate it, or maybe you get just a remake. But it's cool to have all the options there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we always have actually been able to rely on the community and the fans to keep really old games alive. Their whole site is dedicated to supporting, and there's a Scum VM engine, which is
Yep.
like a fan-made engine to
better get
make it
moving.
run on modern hardware, and that's always been something that's great. But they can't do things where we're going back to the source materials or explain the context of the game, how
Yeah.
it's made, like what we were thinking at the time, what the art was supposed to look like, what the music was supposed to sound like, and all the stories. Like if you listen to the commentary, we got a little team reunion, and we got the artists and the audio and the producers back together, and we talked about all recollections, and they had stories I have long forgotten, and kind of put it into context of like who we were when we made this game, and that was a lot of fun to have that reunion, and hopefully people like to listen to us talking while
Very
they're playing
cool.
the game.
Now we're playing this on PC right now, but this is on PS4 and Vita.
Yeah.
Vita, beautiful.
Who loves Vita more than Wii?
Wonderful.
And it's a great way to play it too because the touchscreen works. So you
Yeah.
can do like stick controls, just like with Grim or even Broken Age. Like
But they
you
tried.
can use the the right bumpers to cycle inventory. It's a really fast way to play the game. It's like it was made for it.
Yeah, Full Throttle Remastered. This is out the 18th. PS4,
April 18th.
Vita, PC.
Yeah.
Other platforms
To be
eventually?
decided. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in my way.
Yeah.
And it's got all the bells and whistles you could possibly want.
I hope people who've never played it before get a chance to check it out.
Tim, thanks for coming and dealing with our tough boy bulliness.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Cool
not
leather
beating
jackets.
me up, you guys.
Ah,
I
we
can tell
couldn't
you
do
guys
that.
with those leather jackets and the toughness.
We
We're
have
actually real
a
babies.
board with a nail in it, and it's very threatening.
So
Yep.
we should just get to that now.
I have a bottle. I didn't break it. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, we have a lot of different compostable and recyclable weapons that we made ourselves.
I wrote a list of meme names.
You
I forgot
guys are
about.
tough. Well, I'd be happy to ride with you guys anytime. That's how we talk, the bikers.
Thanks for joining us.
Us bike. We biked it.
We bikers.
Well, thanks for coming by, Tim.
Thanks for having me.
Come back soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, that poor bike.